Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today with another super fun YouTube hop with a couple of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. So today's project is called Roll of the Dice. So basically our host, who is Karan Bailey with Sweet Signature Creations, she has the die that have various Stampin' Up! Words, like for instance, embellish, fun fold, in colors, stuff like that. So basically she rolls all the dice. There's 6 of them, and you have to include all 6 on your card. Now, in true Tiffany fashion, I did have to break the rules a tiny bit because I don't have my whole craft room here, while I'm on vacation. So these 6 items we had to have were in colors, embellishments, has to be masculine, you have to have sponging, has to be a fun fold, and it cannot be an A2 size card, so a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's a lot, right? Super fun. It was really easy to get all of it in there. My rule breaking, like I said, I don't have any of the in colors, but I did use a new color, which is the pecan pie. So hopefully, that still works out. Well, here's my fun fold. This is the first one that I did. So I did the floating image, I think it's called, or I can't remember what it's called. But I've seen a lot of these done vertically on the A2 cards. I've never seen them done on the note cards. So this card is 3 1/2 by 5. It's the note cards, and I will show you everything that I used in just a second. So here's the first one. So it's open, right? Super fun. I loved it. But as I was doing the tutorial for this, I decided I wanted to add some fun acetate window sheet, right? Look at how fun the polka dots are. So when you open it, you have another little confetti fun point there. This one, it's just plain on the back. You can decorate that if you want to, or just write your message. So there's my fun fold, and I love it. And it's masculine. It has some sponging. Well, actually, it's a little faux sponging. We're going to get to that in a minute. I have my embellishments. It's, yeah, I already said it's masculine. Okay, so let me show you everything that you're going to need to make these cards, okay? First, we're going to start with our annual catalog, May 2023 through April 2024. I hope my voice lasts for all of this. And we are going to switch to page 123. Okay, here we go, page 123. Here are your in colors on page 122. Like I said, I didn't bring any of the in colors with me, so I have to use what I have, which I have pecan pie. That's going to be the designer series paper, is the pecan pie right here. And I used early espresso, and I used basic white, which is on the bottom of the page here. And I used a little tiny bit of old olive. All this is in the description box. Okay, the bundle I used was the Trucking Along bundle. That's on my online exclusives. You have to click on my website and click on online exclusives. The punch is sold out again. That was my lunch delivery. So the punch is sold out again. You really don't have to have the punch. You can fussy cut the truck out. It's fine. Once you see the punch is back in stock, you need to buy it because it goes fast, right? The stamp set is you can still buy the stamp set by itself. So when I list in the description box, I'm only going to list the stamp set. Okay. What else did I use? The paper. On page 130, I use the bottom, the Glorious Gingham, which is here. It's a 6x6 paper pad. So you can see all the colors. I use the pecan pie. On page, I don't think I wrote this down. On page 133, I used a piece of the Gold Celebrations Specialty Designer Series paper. You get 3 pieces. It's kind of expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but it was well worth it. It's 3 pieces for $9. So, yeah. But, I mean, for this project, it was well worth it. Here's the whole, you get some like, one side is silver, one side's gold. You get some little party confettis and some like sprinkles and the polka dots. Okay. And then I used in the mini catalog, the September through December 2023 on page 22 and 23. I used some elements from the Beary Sweet collection. I used the gems, which are number 3, and I used a piece of a pocket card. Here is the pocket card. And I just cut out the gifts that were on the other side. Oh my gosh. It was these little pocket cards. Actually, it's this pocket card right here on the back. It's a bunch of like presents, Christmas presents, and that's what I cut out to add to this card. I think that's everything I used, minus like, you know, your everyday items, your, you know, your paper snips, your paper trimmer, your glue, whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. Right. The only other non-Stampin' Up thing, oh, I also use Wink of Stella. The other non-Stampin' Up things I had to use because I don't have my craft room. I had to use a Sharpie to color in my tires. Which my Sharpies, the tip is all messed up, and I would have loved my blends, but I don't have them. I used the white gel pen to add interest marks to my truck, and I used the silver gel pen for the same purpose. All right, so we are going to do this version of the card here. Super fun fold, right? I love it. You can always make your square smaller if you want to show more of the acetate. Because we're not cutting off this bottom panel, you can use a smaller square. Right, let's get started. Let's get our pieces prepped and ready to go. So again, we're using the note card. Oh, I didn't show you the note cards, or did I? I don't know, I'm going to show you anyway. The note card set is on page 135 of the annual catalog. It's down here on the bottom. They measure 5 by 3.5 if you do them horizontally. Come with the envelopes. I don't know what I did with my envelopes. I couldn't find them, so I didn't do anything to the envelopes today. They're here somewhere. Also, if you want to use some dies for your square, I recommend on page 167 stylish shapes, or you can do super fun shape with this squoval right here in the Nested Essentials on page 165. Okay, I used an old set that I don't know why it retired. It is amazing. I don't even know what I did with it. Well, oh, here it is. This was the stitch shapes. I used the stitch shapes here. So you can do squares, you can do circles, ovals, whatever you want will look really cute on this card. All right, let's go ahead and put this card together. So here's our card base. I'm just making sure that it is varnished. We're gonna take our paper trimmer. We're gonna open up our card so that way the, where's my ruler? Oh my gosh. That way the 5-inch side is at the top of your paper trimmer, okay? You're gonna take your card and you're gonna move it over to 1 3/4. You're gonna go all the way up to that score line. I didn't go all the way up to it because I'm afraid to go over it. which I did on this card, and you can see my marks, and I had to put the early espresso paper to cover up because I went too far. So I learned my lesson on that one. So I'm not going, I'm going right up to it because I'm scared. I don't want to mess it up. So that's 1 3/4. And then I'm going to go to 3 1/4. And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. That's it. Now I'm going to take my scissors, my paper snips, just finish going up to that score line, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this rectangle out. And that's it. So see, it's nice and clean on this edge here. Well, for the most part, it's clean. There we go. Right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our acetate, and you do need your tear and tape or whatever adhesive, tape adhesive you have that you're not allergic to. And you're going to put it on the top and the bottom. I cut this piece to, I will tell you that. I'll tell you my measurements as soon as I can find my ruler again. This piece is just over 2 1/2. Oh, let's just call it 2 3/4 by 3 5/8. So just slightly less than 3 1/2. You could probably, no, I don't want to say that. Never mind. I like to say tip sometimes, but then sometimes they confuse people. So I'm just going to leave that tip alone. All right, so I'm just going to add that. Now this is on the top and bottom layers on the inside. Or excuse me, wow, on the outside. If you put it on the inside, then you'll see your tape. Like you can see my tape here. But I'm going to put my layers on top. Now, my panels are 1 3/4 by 3 1/2. And so I just made mine 1/8 of an inch smaller. You can obviously do whatever measurement you want. And to be 100% honest, one of my panels is actually shorter than the other one because I had to use scraps. I'm going to put my tape on the bottom of that one, and I'm going to glue the top, or you can use tape runner. I don't have my Stampin' Up! Tape runner with me, so I don't know if it will stick perfectly to that. I know double-sided tape is super strong. Alright, so whatever glue you have, or however you want to adhere it, you're going to adhere it. Okay. And then you're just going to do your placement wherever you want it. Oops. This is why I like liquid glue for layers, so that way I can have a second or two to readjust it. Okay. And then I'm going to use the opposite side on the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put tape on one edge and glue on the other. Now if you put your tape on the wrong side, then you're going to have, you know, sames. It don't matter. Nobody knows what the card is supposed to look like but you. You can use different colors, different patterns. That'd be fun. Alright, so here we go. Okay. So how fun. Now for me, I always matte the inside of my card. I don't care if it's a white base. a light color base. I always matte because I feel like we're putting so much stuff on the front of the card that this back panel is flimsy. And I don't want a flimsy panel. So I matte mine. And this one, I did some sponging. I think I glued it. There's some glue somewhere. I sponged around, but then I realized that you can kind of see it through here, and I didn't like that. And this one, I matte it with the early espresso, and then I just have the square in the middle that you can write your message. So it's up to you how you want to matte. This one, I think I'm just going to matte, and I'm going to sponge the top and the bottom first. So let's go ahead and put our base to the side and get our other parts, right? Here is my early espresso square. You can use your rectangle dies or just cut it. Mine specifically was 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. And then I cut this to 2.5 by 2.5. Those were the sizes of the dies that I used. And what I did was I just took the white and ran it through with the die, and then I cut off the edging here, the stitched edging, like so. That's all I did to make that other panel. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Okay. Right. So you have your 2 layers. It's 2 5/8 by 2 5/8, 2.5 by 2.5. We're gonna need our truck and our tree. I have already stamped my tree, and I just want to show you how easy it is to fussy cut these items, because I do not enjoy fussy cutting. And when I was at my mom's house, she enjoyed fussy cutting, so everything got fussy cut, and she's great at fussy cutting. I do not enjoy it, but sometimes you have to fussy cut. Now, if I had my inks, I would just use inks. I wouldn't even fussy cut. I wouldn't even do it. But because I don't have any inks with me, I had to make my tree green somehow. So I stamped it on my old olive, and I just fussy cut it. Here's my truck, and I don't want to have all of these extra pieces popped out. So I stamped my truck on a piece of paper that fit perfectly. And then all I did was use a scrap piece of paper and just stuck it on with some tape runner, so I have a little handle. I don't want to waste my paper. I have very little paper here. And you're just going to line it up as best as you can, and you're going to punch it out. So see, you don't waste your paper, because I'm not using those other bits. Now you can, like I said, you can fussy cut it if you want. It's easy. All right, so there's my truck. What else do I need? My sentiment. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. So let's take our white piece of paper, and we're going to do some sponging. Okay, I'm going to do some faux sponging. I don't have my sponges here. I don't have my inks here. So I was thinking, what can I do? Like legit, I was going to go get my kitchen sponge and try to do it that way. But I had a happy accident. Okay. I had my wipey, just a regular wet wipe. And I went to wipe something off of paper, and it smudged it. And I was like, no. But then, light bulb, yes. So we're going to use our wipey to sponge. So I'm going here on the very corner of my ink pad, because I don't know if this is going to ruin my ink pad. I don't know. I don't really care. Like, that kind of stuff to me doesn't bother me, because you can always get another one, or you can re-ink it. But I just went to the very corner. It's on there, and watch. It's like a watercolor. This wipey is almost dry. So see that? Isn't that gorgeous? It's better if your wipey is not dry. Mine is dry. All right, I'm gonna Am I okay with that? I'm okay with that. So because my wipey was dry, it didn't give me the same effect as these ones have on the ground, but you know, it's fine. I like it. And if you don't like it, all you have to do is flip it over and do the same thing. So that's all I did. Now I'm gonna get a new wipey. Here's a new one. And I'm gonna show you the effect a little bit better. Corner, tap, 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 tiny little bit. This is my inside layer. Look at that, like watercolor. Look at that, gorgeous. Now if you're like, you know what, that's too much, I don't like it. Your cardstock's double-sided. Just go again. Just gonna smudge it on. Need a little bit more. Smudge it on. Let it dry. That's it. That's all you're doing. Let it dry. All right. So that's, oh no, I need to stamp my sentiment and I need to stamp my road lines, or I don't know what they're called. And both of those are in the stamp set. So we're using the road lines and the wishing you a festive Christmas. Okay. So mine's loaded up on my block, top and bottom. Yes, I did my stamping first before I put my truck on. You can put your truck on and then try to squeeze this in, but it's up to you. That's where I want to place it. Then I'm going to flip this around and I'm going to do my little truck lines in here. This one may not be as clean as the other one because it's still... I went too hard with the wipe and I kind of ruined my paper a little bit, but when it dries, it's going to be great. All right, and then I'm just using that same wipe to clean my stamps off. All right, so we can go ahead and put this ink away. I need to let this dry, so I'm going to let that dry. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put my layer on the inside. No, it's not dry yet, but it will be fine. I'm very impatient. My inside layers. Line it up. I just made my inside layer 1/8 of an inch smaller. There we go. Just a little bit. Perfect. All right. Now my truck, this is how I put the truck and the tree together. I just put tape runner on the back of the truck where the bed is, and I usually leave a tiny bit of extra green on the bottom of the tree and then just stick it in like that. That's what I found to be the easiest, the quickest. What is on my hands? Okay, I don't like that. All right. So now we're just going to add some gel pen, white gel pen to our truck to just, you know, make it a little bit less brown. So I'm just coloring in the little door. Oh yeah, that's silver. Well, my door handle is going to be silver. And the inside circle is going to be silver. And I think that's all that I did that was silver. Okay, now I'm taking my white and I don't know, I'm just going to do random lines. Okay. I'm just going to copy what I've already done. There really is no rhyme or reason where I put the movement lines. I just put them wherever. Okay. And then there was already tire movement lines from the stamp, and so I just covered them with white, like so. That's it. Nothing nothing heavy. You know, just a little bit here and there. I did take my white gel pen and I kind of made snow. So I just kind of capped the top of my tree and just kind of flicked a little bit of the gel ink on the edges, just here and there. And I kind of just did like little dots on top of some of those, the lines that were already there from the stamp. And I liked it. Okay, then I took my Wink Stella, which mine is leaking. It's seen better days. Look at that. That's okay. And then I just kind of went over the tree a little bit to give it some, not sparkle, but Christmas glisten. How about that? Just dewdrops. And then I went over the window. And I went over the hubcap things. And then both sides. You're supposed to let your gel ink pen dry first before you do that, but obviously I didn't do that. And then a marker for the wheels. Okay. Oh, you know what? I did use the silver for the front light, like the headlights. And I had to use just red pen for the tail light. That's what I got. Okay. That's it. My card is not dry, so I'm going to have to glue it instead of using tape runner. Alright, so I'm going to glue my panel onto my early espresso. Like so. And here's where you can decide if you want to pop your truck up with dimensionals or leave it flat. I opted to leave mine flat, but it would be really cute on some dimensionals. I'd leave mine flat because I don't know where any of my dimensionals or my foam tape, I don't know where it is. So mine's flat. All right, and I'm going to glue my truck down. You can decide if you want your truck to be straight or a little wonky or, you know, whatever you want. Like so. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and glue this on top. Glue or tape runner or whatever you have. So I'm just putting some on the top and some on the bottom. You don't want to glue that middle nor your sides because you don't want it to show through that acetate. And you're going to center it as best as you can. I get to cheat because I have perfect lines. Here we go. All right, there's your card. Now we're going to go ahead and take some of our gems, potentially, allegedly. Okay, if I knew where I put my gems, then we would add our gems. And that's it. You can add your gift that you cut out of the memory card. I had two other ones on my desk that I have no idea where I put them. Here it is in the inside. Just put a little tiny little gift in the corner. I think that's super cute. You can do so many different things on the inside. You can add your little gift like this, or if you want, you can add, you know, a banner. It could be all the way long. You can add a short little banner, which I think that's what I want to do. Like you see, I just literally saw this banner on my desk. Okay, so I have my little banner. Now I'm making mine so you won't see it on the front. That's the other thing you need to worry about. Okay. Just a little banner. Super cute. I think that looks really cute with that little gift down there. If you want a full banner, you can absolutely have it. Just remember that, you know, whatever you put on the inside is going to show through on the other side. Okay? So keep that in mind. But I think that turned out really super cute. I love it. My gems were inside of my catalog. You can add your gems anywhere you want. I just have been adding mine like that, but because the bottom of my panel is still wet, you know what? I'm gonna have a floating gem out in space. You can space it up there, maybe down here. Nope, there, I want it down at the bottom. Floating random gem. I love it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you make these cards. Obviously, when you're doing a tutorial, it takes a lot more time than, you know, you cut all your pieces, put it together. You could probably do like 10 cards in the time it took me to do this tutorial. But anyway, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Definitely hop on to the next person. Bye.